So hi everyone and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. So in this show we aim to give you an idea of what it's like to study at Lund University as an international student by inviting guests such as current students, alumni, teachers, and a lot of other very special guests. So in today's episode, we're actually going to focus on what it's like to study at our campus in Helsingborg as an international student. My name is Cicilia Jeppsson and I work as an international marketing manager here at Lund University. And with me in the studio today, I have two very special guests. So Naana, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Naana. I'm from Ghana and I'm currently in my second year in strategic communication and master study at Campus Helsingborg.
At Campus Helsingborg, perfect, good to know. And Nicoleta.
Hi, I'm Nicoleta. You can call me Nick from now on. I'm from Canada and I'm also studying the same program with my second year of strategic communication at Campus Helsingborg.
Fantastic. And I'm also a bachelor, or I'm an alumni of the strategic communication program, so we have a lot of communicators in here today. So, of course, a lot of times we focus on talking about Lund University and Lund as a student town, but of course we have our campus in Helsingborg. So, when you actually were admitted for studies, what did you know about Helsingborg? Did you know anything about the city? And what were your first impressions when arriving?
Well, I fell in love with the sea because I come from a place with a sea very close by. And I also wanted a blend of both the student life and the locals because I didn't want just students. I have been working for a while and I wanted to experience life from the workers and the students kind of life. Yeah. So I felt like Helsingborg would be the best place for me. And also I actually wanted an apartment close by and I got one. So yeah, it was Helsingborg for me.
Oh, that's perfect. Very nice.
Yeah, the sea is beautiful.
It is.
Cold sometimes.
But it's beautiful, you know.
It is.
But why did you choose Helsingborg? How do you feel about it?
At first, I thought the program was in Lund. So I was like, okay, no, in Lund University, let me look for apartments in Lund. And then I looked a bit closer and it was Campus Helsingborg.
Yeah.
And then Google Trusted Map. I was like, oh, that's a bit far.
Oh yeah? You thought it was far?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I commuted in my bachelor's. And even though it was like 20, 30 minutes, it still left an impact. So I was like, maybe I should focus where the campus is in Helsingborg. And then Google Maps looked around at the campus where the students' apartment was. And it was also beautiful with the sea. Because for a while I lived in England. And right by the sea, I think it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And being so close, I was like, oh.
The sea does something to you.
Yeah, really, it does.
Because in Canada, we have lakes, but not so much seas. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to get the fresh air again. And maybe it's a bit cold here and there. But I fell in love with how beautiful it was and the accommodations, close to the proximity of the campus. And then Campus Helsingborg, what it was.
And I mean, if you wake up at 9, you can still make it to campus in like 15 minutes. So that is good.
That is actually very convenient. Yeah. And I mean, it's cold in Lund as well. It's Sweden and in the winter, but it's more windy in Helsingborg since it's by the sea. That's something I've heard a lot of students talk about.
Yep,
it is.
Rest in peace to one of my umbrellas.
One of many to come.
I invested in a nice strong one.
I gave up on umbrellas a long time ago. I just got a raincoat.
Yeah.
Because the umbrellas, they just don't work.
So Helsingborg is actually, it's a bigger city in terms of inhabitants, but we have fewer students at our campus in Helsingborg compared to the ones studying in Lund. So how would you say, what is it like to actually study at a smaller campus?
Ooh, definitely closer knit friend groups. We see each other not only in campus for our lectures, but we go fika if we have 1 or 2 hour breaks. We go out and we come back. Cultural dinners.
Yeah, and I think for our class, there's sort of like a division because some people live in Lund and some live in Helsingborg. So those of us who live in Helsingborg tend to just sort of do everything together because it's like it's us in there. And talk about the campus. I mean, it's small because there are so many other programs in Helsingborg, like the energy efficiency, service management. So it's a small campus. But then, I wish you could have something like Lund, but then it is still so nice. I don't know if you know of the 7th floor. Like you are there all the time.
The seventh floor. Sounds like something from Harry Potter or something.
That is my little home on campus.
It's so beautiful because the whole building is like, it used to be a shoe factory, but then you go to the 7th floor and it's like you're in this new different world because it's a totally different vibe. I don't know why, but it's just beautiful. So the 7th floor, that's where you find everybody nowadays. It's a thing on campus Helsingborg.
I feel like you'd have to show Nicoleta where the 7th floor is because she looks a bit shocked.
That's where I do all my studying for my thesis.
Oh, really?
Every day, 10 to 5, 4:30.
Yeah.
That's my place. I should get you there more often. Yeah, it is very beautiful. When I'm not looking at my laptop for a couple hours a day.
It is. And then there is Mind Park, so close by, where they have these events. Like we went to art therapy recently. So Mind Park is like a workspace for entrepreneurs. And they sort of loan their rooms or some of their places to us because we practice some sort of communication things in there. So yeah, exactly. So they host a lot of events and they even allow us, the students, to also go there and have our own thing. So we had media trainings there where we had this microphones and we were put on the spot to
in front of the camera.
I know, to respond to some things like a crisis there and then one was created and we had to. And Mind Park is just like the right place. And also if you are an entrepreneur or plan on becoming one, Mind Park is the place for you because it has a wide range of entrepreneurs from different industries and it's something everybody should experience.
Also networking sessions they have on their Facebook. They invite you to events where you have people speaking about their experience, how to troubleshoot brainstorming ideas.
Yeah, and how to even make candles as well.
I didn't go to that one.
Everything. So everything is open for students as well, studying at the campus.
They have a very nice cafeteria too there that sells delicious focaccia sometimes.
Oh, the Chinese mix the nuts.
Has some food lovers in here. That's good.
And it's open actually to students, so you can even choose to study there if you like. You don't have to pay anything. You can just walk in and study.
Oh, that's perfect. And there are also study rooms at the campus itself and the cafeteria. Or what other facilities on campus?
I mean, for our program, we have a designated room, the strategic communication room, that is only accessible to us with a key.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Especially now with everyone writing their thesis, you walk in, it's like, oh, there's my friend over there. Huh? Hi.
Yeah.
And there's also the first years who also use the room. So whenever you go in, you might see like a little conversation happening, a little networking session. And then if you don't want that room, you can go to the 7th floor. Or
the magic room.
the magic room, my favorite place. But I think if you want something a little more isolated, you have individual rooms throughout the campus on each floor that maybe can have 6-ish people in it.
It's usually always full. Like all the time it's full.
People use it.
Yes, a lot.
Which is good, of course.
But then there are people in the cafeteria as well. And on the 2nd floor, close to the library, because it also has it's this very beautiful open space, and there's a piano there.
Yes,
there's a piano there.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
So yeah, people use those areas. So there are so many places to study. You don't have to study from your room.
Well, that's nice as well to be able to sit together somewhere.
Exactly.
You also said that some students in your class commute between Lund and Helsingborg every day. So is it easy commuting? Is the campus far away from the train station, or is it very accessible?
I think from the actual campus to the central station, 5-10 minute walk, depending how cold it is. If you want
how windy it is.
And then to Lund, what would it be?
I mean, if you use the fast train, it's like 27 to 30 minutes. But if you use the slow one, it can be like 40 to 51 minutes, depending on the stops.
Yeah.
So it is really easy to commute. It's not something very difficult. Yeah. I mean, when the train is working.
Yeah. Like the storm we had recently.
Everything can happen, right?
Yeah. So just leave home early.
So it is possible to still take part of some parts of the student life in Lund while you study and live in Helsingborg, and vice versa, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. And sometimes we even have lectures, like one of our classes was in Lund. So we commuted like all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But both of you live in Helsingborg at the moment.
Yes.
So what is accommodation like as a student in Helsingborg?
Well, I rent from Helsingborgs Hem. and they own a few student buildings, also just regular apartment buildings. And I think mine is a bit, maybe 2 minutes away from yours.
Yeah.
And
We
so
live on
it's
the same street.
15 minutes. And I take my time walking. I walk very slow. I have short legs, someone says.
So, looking at Naana.
Yes. Miss long legs. But I would say 15 minutes walking.
Oh, that's very nice
Campus.
though. Yeah.
And of course, if you have a scooter or a bike, because I also see people biking, because we have designated spaces for our apartments have designated space for our bikes. Less, but I like to walk, so 15 from my place, and they're beautiful apartments.
Well, I mean, I walk faster because I have longer legs. So I usually get to campus between 7 and 10 minutes, and my apartment is a bit closer to campus. And I got my apartment through Lund University LU accommodation because I'm an international student with a housing guarantee. So I got my first choice, which is a very beautiful apartment.
That's luxury getting first choice as well.
But unfortunately, my apartment doesn't have study rooms like Nicoleta's.
Mm-hmm.
So I have her book her study room for me.
Oh.
And they also have something called a magic room in their building.
It's called a magic room.
It's called a magic
We
room.
call it a magic room.
You call it a magic room, okay.
We named it a little magic room.
Why is it a magic room?
It's a very nice place outside where people, or at least students, leave stuff they don't want anymore.
Oh.
And moving students, like if it's towards the end of June, students who haven't sold everything
That's
might
really
leave
good.
a shelf, a bed, everything, kitchen stuff. So that's how we furnished our
Yeah.
apartment.
I was going to say, tell her how you finished your apartment.
The only thing I paid for in my room was the bed, my desk.
Really?
My desk came from the magic room, my little nightstand, my coffee table.
Your coffee machine.
Oh, yes. My
The coffee
waffle,
machine even.
my waffle maker,
Are you kidding?
a crock pot. I can keep going. A juicer.
I feel like everyone needs a magic room.
I got a plant from that.
You got a plant?
Yes.
Still alive?
Yeah.
Because Nicoleta took everything else, so you just got a plant.
And it's not my building, so
Oh, okay.
I'll take what I get.
Plates, everything.
Everything.
But that's really good. And did you know about this before going there, or they informed you that this exists?
I don't think in the package that they give us when they move in, they give a list of the student rooms, the facilities. Not so much the magic room, they just call it a storage.
Oh,
But because I moved there a bit later than my other classmates, everyone told me, look out for the magic room. I was like, where is it?
you should really promote it as
I know
what it is.
What if I just put magic room?
Yeah.
Because even some of the first years moved into my building, and I told them, don't worry about furnishing, just take your time, check the magic room. They look at me, huh? Magic room? Like, yep. You can find your whole apartment there.
I love this. This is really good. Yeah.
It saved a lot of money and
Yeah, I can imagine.
stress from shopping.
Which is great for students as well.
Mhm.
Oh, my wallet loved it.
So when you're not studying and when you're not hanging around in your accommodation, what is there to do in Helsingborg as a student?
Let me start with Sundays.
Yes, you go with Sundays.
So on Sundays, we have there's this hotel there called Elite Hotel, and they have this place like Bishop Arm where they have a trivia, sort of a trivia night. So it's every 2 weeks, right?
Every other week, yes.
Every other week, but they have the Swedish one, then they have
Yes,
the English
once
one.
in-
Yes.
Mhm.
So that is where we sort of compete against each other because it comes with rewards.
Yeah.
The winning team gives was 300 krona,
I think it's 300 krona for the winning team,
then
runner-up
150.
150, third 100.
Yeah, so that's what we do every 2 weeks on Sundays. We go to this trivia game and we sort of like try to make money or try to get a voucher.
It's burger.
I know it's still something. It's something we look forward to because it's not really as much as the trivia as it is the campaigning. So
Yeah.
that's what we do. And then we go to Fika at
Mhm.
Ebbes Fik
Ebbes Fika, Espresso House.
because their cookies like this.
Oh yeah.
It's so big that we just go there at Ebbes Fik and we
The
During-
50s diner.
yeah, and during fall I think we went to Sofiero, right?
I think that was in September.
It was in September instead.
Yes.
After that, we went to Frederiksdale with a culture card because you can actually buy a culture card for a year and you can visit all the museums and all the cultural places in Helsingborg.
Oh, that's really good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a student discount as well. So
Student discounts are the best. Good that you mentioned it. So what is Fredriksdal?
What is it?
what? It's like authentic Swedish experience. So it's sort of like we like to call it a museum. Like what did you
Farm.
Yeah, farm where you can see authentic Swedish stuff. Like there is the place with the hammer, and they were making these things.
Oh, what do you call that?
Help me. So it's like
Some sort of
tools,
workshop.
yeah,
Okay.
like a
You can try
workshop,
different
exactly.
activities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they have the printing place.
The press printing, where they showed you how they made newspapers back in the day. How
Yes.
they rearranged like all the little alphabets, stamp it, change it again for the next one. Candle working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was that. And
Nice
there were
job.
these the crochet and the knitted clothes and stuff like that. So it's like an authentic Swedish experience. I don't know how to
Mix of
describe.
everything.
Yes, exactly.
A farm in the city.
They had animals there. They had horses. To me, that's a farm.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Yes.
Yeah. Remember the size of those pigs?
I have never seen such a large pig in my life before, because the pigs I see are very tiny, but this
It was huge. It had a lot of food in its stomach.
It was.
So what else is there to do? I know, like, since I studied in Helsingborg myself, something we did quite a lot is actually taking the ferry boat over to Denmark, which is only, you can actually see Denmark
Mhm.
from campus even.
It's very close.
So have you experienced that as well?
Yes.
When did we go to Helsingborg?
February was my birthday.
Yes.
Oh, what's your birthday?
February.
Good birthday.
We went, I think, to Helsingborg.
Then
Stayed
we-
there for a bit, looked at the castle,
Mhm.
took a lot of pictures with the wind in our face.
And how about the experience on the ferry? The fact that you don't even have to get down in Helsingborg. You can just stay on the ferry and just
It's a
like
one-way
chill.
ticket.
Yeah, chill.
Go back and forth. It actually has a name. It's called Tubulia.
Mhm.
So you just jump on the boat and you sit on the boat back and forth for as long as you want.
Yes.
I think I
You have. I haven't
went
done
there with
that.
a few of the
Yeah.
exchange students from
Yeah.
Italy. 5, 6 hours.
Oh, wow, that's a long session.
It was just a debriefing session after, I think, what course was it?
Research or crisis?
Research or crisis. Towards the end, we just needed to have a nice break. We bought snacks. We took pictures, looked at the sunset, all the way until it was dark. And we're like, which side are we on? Are we in the Danish or the Swedish side?
That's very confusing in the end, actually. It looks the same.
When do we get off?
But then it's also cheaper taking the ferry to Copenhagen, actually. It's cheaper than the train because you just get on it, go through Helsingborg, and you can spend an entire day. You just go through Helsingborg, then get on the train and check out Copenhagen like we did. So you're not really restricted if you live in Helsingborg, let's just say. It's not like Lund, but then there are still so many things to do.
Weekly trips to Helsingborg, go down to Lund, even go a bit up north to Gothenburg.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's only 2 hours away by train, right?
Yeah, 2 hours.
And so Gothenburg is Sweden's third largest city. So
Beautiful.
it's a bit more happening compared to Helsingborg and Malmö even. So that's nice. You have the best combination of different places, one could say.
We're surrounded by places to go.
Yeah, like the sauna. We haven't tried it yet, but we have most
you have
of
to
our
try
course
that.
mates doing it like all the time.
It's the perfect season for it now as well. It has to be really cold. We have to first jump in the water and then jump into the sauna.
Yeah, that's where we stop. Sauna, yes. Jumping, no.
Well, you can do the sauna without the jumping as well, of course.
Maybe in the summer.
Yeah.
Just dip in when it's nice and warm. You dry up, then you go home. I know.
So like most students, when they get admitted for studies at Lund University, I think most students are prepared to actually go to Lund because that's what we talk mostly about. But did you ever get an introduction to Helsingborg when you arrived as international students? Did the university give an introduction to the city, or did the city give an introduction to the city?
Yeah. Our program coordinator, Maria and Lena, they actually took us around the city.
Oh.
They did that. And they told us about a best week where to get a large cookie.
Good tip.
And then the city also held some sort of conference for students we just didn't attend, but the city did that.
Mhm.
And then there's this organization called High Connections. It's called High Connections.
Oh, it's
that's
Helsingborg
yeah.
International Connections.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they also held some sort of a seminar for students to introduce the city, tell us what we can do in the city, and they have lots of events as well. It's just that we haven't been to any.
Yeah. But they have a lot of events.
They do.
But they keep us updated with interesting stuff that happens within
Mhm.
Sweden that might affect Helsingborg, like the storm we just had. They post us links to stuff that we might not be aware because we don't speak the language. So it's like, oh, there's a storm coming. I didn't know. We follow them on Instagram, on
Oh, that's good.
Facebook. So it's like a way to keep connected to the outside Swedish population when we don't speak the language.
Yeah.
They inform us of just little aspects here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you forgot about Christmas. During Christmas, I love it. Okay. So during Christmas at Canon, they have some sort of like a choir.
What is Shannon? You have to explain that
It's
first.
Shannon.
Shannon.
It's Shannon. I always say Canon.
Yeah, but
Oh,
what
the A has
is it,
the double
Donna?
dot. To me, it looks like a castle and a bridge, all in all, like a tiny castle and a bridge. I don't know how
In
to
the
go.
city center.
Yes, in the city center. So during Christmas, there is like a musical on there, which is it's so beautiful because you find all of us just walking there and just, I don't know, just enjoying the spirit of Christmas. It's something the city does so well that I really, really love. It's something I look forward to every December.
Yeah. Did you miss out on that, Nicoleta?
No, I just forgot about it.
We went dancing, remember?
I know. It was Christmas. I had things going on. Now I remember taking the videos. We were singing along. Okay, my memory resets. Okay.
If you want to go dancing, is there any place in Helsingborg where you can do that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a few places that one recently opened up. But there's also the karaoke that we've been frequently going in the past.
Karaoke?
Yes.
I didn't know about this. Where is this?
What's the name?
Frolican?
Maybe, I think so.
Yeah, it's Frolican. It has this masquerade window. Yeah. It's close to the park. It's just right beside the park in Helsingborg. And you can have karaoke. There is Afrobeat dance.
Oh,
Yeah, like
different
Afrobeat.
genres of music,
Yeah.
like Spanish, African beats. And they have the two plays side by side. So
that's
one
perfect.
part is the karaoke,
Karaoke.
and then people singing, you have your turn. You walk a little bit, there's a nice space with like the DJ for dancing.
Oh, that's
And
perfect.
you just switch back and forth.
That's what we
should
do.
sing, okay, let's go dance. We should dance, okay, let's go dance.
But then also, like in Lund, they talk a lot about the student nations organizing, nightclubs and dinners. And is there anything similar to that in Helsingborg? Or is there like 0 student activities organized by students in
I think
Helsingborg?
it's closer to my building, the
Yeah.
Helsingborg Borgen, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
It's not a student nation, but a student activity.
But that's where
Remember correctly?
Campus has, there's a couple of student nations in Helsingborg. For instance, because we are part of the social sciences, we have Agora. Then there is another one, Stampus. And they have this event where they sort of wear overalls, I think during opening days. And you see them walking around and they sort of have some stickers. We have never experienced that. We don't know how it happens or what goes into it, but we see them all the time. And you see them having a lot of parties in this Helsingborg Borgen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But it's open for students, like anyone can join if they want to.
Yes, I believe so.
And during the day recently, they made it into an open study space for students between the hours of,
yeah.
I think it was like 10 to 5 or 10 to 4. You can just walk in, study.
That's perfect.
So if you don't want the campus, you don't want your rooms, you don't want like study at Espresso House, you go somewhere neutral.
Yeah.
And is it easy to walk everywhere, or do you like have to take the bus, or how is it easy? How do you best get around?
We walk a
With
lot.
our legs.
The short legs and the long legs.
We walk a lot. We walk a lot. And I mean, it's so easy to go around the city center. Yeah. And we like to take walks maybe in the evening when the weather is very good. We take walks to the beach,
It's
to the
sunnier
city
too.
center.
beach is really nice in summer in Helsingborg.
We spent more than a few. When it gets nice and warm outside, especially towards May, we were having a blast by the sea, grabbing snacks, watching the sunsets, especially by the platforms where people dip, but we don't. We just use the platforms.
Should still try it.
Maybe in June. But it's beautiful. We get snacks. Sometimes we even got ice cream.
Yeah.
Just sit there, watch the sunset, listen to the waves. This one time, I do think we saw a seal.
I saw the seal.
I
told you guys, they didn't believe me.
We just saw something pop up.
No, it was a seal.
And you guys were like, oh my God, what is that? It's fluff. I don't know.
It's a Loch Ness monster.
And then, we left.
But I do actually think they have seals there. Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
I know they have them.
She didn't make that up. I promise you.
I saw pictures online too, but it's just a big blob.
I saw the sea dog. It's a sea dog. A dog in the sea. I saw it.
Sea dog.
And that didn't make you want to jump in the water?
You have something brushing up against you? No.
So what would you say is the best thing about studying in Helsingborg?
Well, I'll always go for the sea.
Yeah.
And I like the close-knit sort of friends we have. We had to create it. We had to create that. So I like that. And I also like the fact that I don't experience just students. I get to see Sweden from a different perspective. Because I feel like if I lived in Lund, it would be more of student life and just students. But in Helsingborg, it's just a blend of the two, which I really like.
Yeah, sounds like a really good combination, actually.
Actually, at the beginning, when we might not have the friend groups that we have now, you can just go walk by the sea, have a moment to debrief, talk to yourself, just, I'm in Sweden, far, far away from home, across the Atlantic. And then as time goes on, you start to build friendships that are just not in class. You see each other, maybe you're in different groups, but it's okay, class is over, let's go somewhere. And you're able to meet people through the networking sessions that are not just students. So it's so this is what life is after you graduate.
These are the real people.
There's something after graduation too.
Yeah.
It's okay, I might like this life, not just students. Because you might get wrapped up in your little bubble sometimes, especially in Lund, when everyone's a student, they're student nations, they don't last forever. So having to see people going to work and seeing people get from work, the busyness, okay, that's going to be me in 2 years.
How about the city itself and its innovation? Every time in Helsingborg, you find something new somewhere. I don't know why, but it's so innovative. Because currently there is something close by Aldo, the supermarket. It's there is always some sort of monument or something, a new building somewhere. And that is really nice. It's something to look forward to all the time.
I think it's a growing city. They build a lot. And they just recently had the expo as well. I'm not sure if you were here then.
The Expo 22.
Yeah, so there were quite a lot of events happening. And they really showcased the city for everyone. So that was quite a good timing to be a student in Helsingborg as well, I guess.
And it was during the summer where it's warm.
Jeez, you're warm.
I don't like having an Eskimo jacket on me 24/7.
You're from Canada.
See?
But we have proper clothes there.
Oh. No, I should be complaining. I have 27 degrees every single day.
And when you have your whole life and 23 kilos, you prioritize. And my boots cannot take up all
It's
that
we
room.
have really contrasts there in many different ways.
I complain a lot, I know.
No.
Canada still.
No, not at all. Is there anything you wish that you had in Helsingborg that you're lacking as a student?
Let's see.
Would you say a bigger campus? Because I know you would have wanted more.
A bigger campus.
A bigger campus. Maybe, because in my bachelor's we also have more land back in Canada, so it was more spread out. And then here, because the campus is so small, you might bump into the same people again, and you might need diversity sometimes.
It's boring. The same faces all the time.
You know what? 7th floor, let me just spice up by sitting in a different area than I usually do. But I think that would be mine, just a nice bigger campus, and maybe a nation, because everyone keeps talking about the nations from Lund.
Yeah.
And we never really get to experience them, because you have to pay to be part of it and know which Facebook groups to join, which people to connect with.
Yeah.
But I think that would be What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the nations. I paid for a nation, but I was in Lund, and I really wasn't ready to travel all the way to Lund every single time there was an event. But then I think if maybe certain things are brought to Helsingborg from these nations, it would be really good to experience that. Yeah.
So a lot of pros and cons, of
Yes.
course, no matter where you study. It was really fantastic having you in the studio today. I think we have to wrap it up for today. We can discuss this for so many hours, of course. But thank you so much, Naana, and for joining, and Nicoleta as well.
Thank you
for having you here.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you are interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you can chat with current students on Unibuddy. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.